Alright guys, so today's work is not that different from yesterday's work. Just as a reminder, looking at question number 1, Sassy. Well guys, let's pay attention. It's up here. Daisy, even though you're back there, I can still hear you. Alright, so looking at question number 1, the biggest side, we always call that hypotenuse. If we have a hard time seeing which one is the hypotenuse, starting from the 90 degrees, the opposite of the 90 degrees is the hypotenuse. So that we know that's the hypotenuse. Now, looking from theta, looking from this corner, the opposite is 4. Remember, opposite is the farthest away. That's the opposite, and this side is adjacent. So from SOHCAHTOA, today we're going to be looking at ka. What that stands for is cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So looking at question number 1, cosine of theta, I'm just going to write 3 radical 17 over 13. If you can simplify your fraction, do so. In this case, 3 over 13, we cannot. And make sure your radical is as simple as we can go, no radicals at the bottom. C stands for cosine. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Now for secant, we're looking at, question number 2. Let me label my sides first. I know that's the hypotenuse. From theta, this is the opposite, this is the adjacent. So secant, I'm going to be abbreviated with the first 3 letters. Secant is the reciprocal of cosine. So I'm just going to go hypotenuse over adjacent. So in this case, I'm going to go 17 over 15. There's nothing I can do, so I just leave it at 17 over 15. Once again, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Secant is the reciprocal of. Any questions? You get this?
Yeah.
Number 3? Alright, let's take a look at number 3. Let me label my sides first. 13 is the hypotenuse. From theta, 5 is the opposite because the one's farthest away, and 12 is the adjacent. Secant is hypotenuse over adjacent. So let me go 13 over 12. Do you remember that if there's a radical at the bottom, rationalize, which you multiply top and bottom by the same radical, so no radicals at the bottom. So don't forget you have to do that. Okay. Yeah. 4? Alright, looking at question number 4, let me label my sides. The hypotenuse is 8 radical 10. The opposite is 8, and the adjacent is 24. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so let me go 24 over 8 radical 10. I can simplify the 8 over 24 to begin with. At least let me simplify before I multiply it. So I'm going to have 3 over radical 10. Right, I simplified my fraction first. Now, I notice there's a radical at the bottom, so let me multiply top and bottom by radical 10. So I have 3 radical 10 over 10. Right, no radicals at the bottom. Because remember, cosine is A over H. So that's what I did. It's just 24 divided by 8 is 3. All right. Any questions? Good. Right, let me take all of the